Welcome to this channel. The Labour government is facing growing pressure tonight amid reports that it is preparing to abandon plans for a new Islamophobia law. The proposal, once considered a flagship policy, has sparked fierce debate inside the party and across the country, with critics warning it could restrict freedom of speech in Britain. The idea was first linked to former Deputy Leader Angela Rayner, who argued that a legal definition of Islamophobia was needed to tackle rising hate crimes against Muslims. Figures from the Home Office recorded more than 3,000 anti-Muslim incidents last year, prompting calls for stronger protections. But what began as a move to combat discrimination has now become one of the government's most divisive policy issues. Reports from Whitehall suggest senior ministers are increasingly uneasy about the measure. Keir Starmer's chief of staff, Morgan McSweeney, and Communities Secretary Steve Reed are said to be among those urging caution. They fear that introducing such a definition could unintentionally limit legitimate discussion about religion and culture, creating what some have described as a de facto blasphemy law. At the Labour Party conference in Liverpool earlier this month, Steve Reed appeared to confirm a shift in thinking. He told delegates that protecting free speech must come first, and that the government would not bring in blasphemy laws through the back door. Earlier, the government faced backlash over changes to winter fuel payments, pressure to launch a national inquiry into grooming gangs, and criticism over proposed welfare cuts. In each case, ministers were forced to alter course following public outrage or internal rebellion. Critics say the pattern shows a government that reacts to pressure rather than leading with conviction. Political commentators note that the Islamophobia debate exposes deep divisions within Labour about identity politics, freedom of expression, and how best to tackle discrimination. Some MPs fear abandoning the policy could alienate parts of the party's base, while others believe stepping back is essential to protect free speech and maintain public trust. At the same time, Labour is facing fresh controversy over its plans for a digital ID system. The scheme, outlined by Work and Pensions Secretary Liz Kendall, is intended to modernize how citizens access government services and to give individuals more control over their data. She told MPs that digital IDs would replace outdated paperwork and make the state more efficient and secure. However, the plan has drawn sharp criticism from opposition politicians and civil liberties groups. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage called it sinister, warning that it could expand government surveillance and erode privacy. Former Brexit Secretary David Davis echoed those concerns, describing the project as part of a wider trend towards state control. Labour insists the digital ID would be voluntary and compliant with data protection laws. But the controversy highlights broader tensions between technology, privacy, and public trust. For Prime Minister Keir Starmer, these issues reflect a growing challenge, balancing the need to protect communities from hate while defending freedom of speech and civil liberties. As the government faces renewed scrutiny, the coming weeks could reveal whether this latest retreat is a matter of principle or just another sign of political fragility at the heart of Downing Street.